My local supermarket had 28 boxes. I bought 4. I'm just going to pick them out at random and get them in my guzzard. It is the Thornbridge collaboration, Flora and the Griffin. This is the Peat Super. This is the Matariki New Zealand Saison. Oh, we're only halfway through, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see what the rest of this box has to offer. We're halfway through the Fuller's & Friends selection box. We've just had this stunning Matariki New Zealand Saison. We're actually talking live with the brewer themselves from Fuller's, but that is long in the past now as we dive our hand back into the Fuller's & Friends box and see what we've got. Rebirth from More. This is Rebirth, the original extra special bitter from 1971, reborn. 6% from More Beer Company out of Bristol. Inspired by the very first ESB recipe, we've used hops from Britain, Australia, Slovenia and the USA to create a rich, complex, delicious ale. There we go. It's what you expect. Finger and a half of head, off-white, sticking around in the glass, lovely tiny bubbles on there. And it's just a perfect copper colour. I mean, if that's catching the light, that looks stunning. Okay, getting some pine needle. Oh yeah. Oh god, a bit of toffee. Oh, just crunchy caramel biscuits, I think. You get that biscuity, malty doughiness. Kind of smells like that hairdresser biscuit. Let's give it a try. Cheers. Oh. 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 Oh wow. Oh, I don't know. I think that's a bit much. I think that's just a bit much. There's so much bitterness there that it's almost turning into a sourness, and it's almost leaving a bit of a weird aftertaste when you go back in for more. More. Get it? I find this with a lot of more beers. They push the boundaries so much that sometimes they can kind of erode a classic beer style. Getting quite a lot of the subtlety of a bitter is being lost there. Back into the box we go. We've got 2 beers left in the Fuller's & Friends box. Can we pick ourselves up after that More disappointment? I'm sure we can, with the New England IPA, Fuller's plus Cloudwater. Oh god, yes. This is a 7% New England IPA. We've used oats, wheat and a mountain of hops. Chinook and Simcoe from the USA and Olicana from the UK, that's my name, to make a soft, juicy New England IPA. Ooh, taste her bums. Taste her bums. So there we go. Completely clear, which is quite unusual. Lack of that dank haze. But yeah, half a finger of head, lovely, brilliant white head, no carbonation. Okay, yeah, you got citrus fruits, you got your caramel, yeah, tropical, you got your grapefruit, bringing the sourness, and you got things like passion fruit and papaya, bringing the sweetness, really fleshy stone fruit. Yeah, this just smells, I mean, Cloudwater fucking nail these time and time again. So let's see if Fuller's getting in on the party can make it any better. Oh yes. Whoa. Oh, that's a big alcohol burn on that. I mean, the beers we've had so far have been pretty strong. This is 7%, and I'm struggling with it, to be honest. I mean, there's kind of a oaky, almost burnt, sweet tropical fruit to it, but that's where it ends, to be honest. Everything else is completely burned away by the strength of it. They haven't found that way of balancing the ABV with the flavours that they want to get through it. I can't believe it, but I think the Fuller's and Cloudwater beer is the worst of the lot. I'm not even going to finish that. Okay, so we're on to the final beer of this Fuller's & Friends selection box. You can probably all guess what it's going to be. It's Galleon, the dry hopped lager from 4 Pure Brewing Company out of Bermondsey in London. So what we got about this? We've got 4.8%. We've used lashings of laurel, a modern American hop, to give Galleon its unique character. There's bucket loads of floral citrus, delicious dark fruit flavour in this crisp, refreshing lager, dry hopped for extra punch. I mean, this is a pretty safe style for Fuller's to fall with, and I think they've chosen a pretty awesome brewery to pair this safe style with. Big fan of 4 Pure, We've had them very on the show, and I think from starting from a 7% pretty dense smoked porter, it's pretty great to finish with a shy of 5% dry hop lager. Let's get this one in the glass and finish this Fuller's and Friends stunning, albeit divisive, selection box. Okay, so here we go. Ultimately super pale lager. Not much carbonation coming off there, not much head either. A little bit of sediment floating around the glass. To be honest, it looks a little bit insipid. Would have liked a little bit of body. Malty, a little bit of hoppy, a little bit of kind of dry straw, a tiny little bit of citrus. Cheers to Fuller's and Friends. Oh yeah, that is what you want. I mean, you can't go wrong with a dry hop lager. You know, it's not breaking any boundaries. It's not blowing up anyone's taste buds, but it's a dry hop lager at the end of the day. And it's a damn good one at that. We don't like doing scores and rankings on the show, but I think with something like this where they all come as a selection box, we should probably rank them from best to worst. So, without further ado, our worst one of the 6, surprisingly, was the New England IPA, collaboration with Cloudwater Brewery. It was too much. It was absolutely too much. Second to last, because I had so much hope for it, but it let me down. The Rebirth from Moore. They just pushed it too far. So, fourth, middle ground now is Thornbridge and their Flora and the Griffin Red Rye Ale. I mean, it was good, but again, it was a little bit too much for me. It felt like a bit of a try-hard of a beer. Into the top 3, we've just had it. It's the 4 Pure Galleon Dry Hop Lager. It's nothing special, but you can't complain with a dry hop lager, especially when it's got that little bit of craft beer tinge that 4 Pure can put on it. Good job, guys. Our second place is surprisingly the Pete Super from Hard Knot. I mean, I didn't rate Hard Knot before this show, and they've outdone all my expectations. This was a lovely smoked porter, loads of flavour, loads of aroma, looked lovely in the glass as well. And you didn't have that alcohol burn. I could session on that for a good few hours. That was absolutely beautiful. But coming up first, it's the utterly unbeatable Matariki New Zealand Saison. Yes, 5.8% from Marble Brewery out of Manchester. I mean, you half expected them to produce an absolute worldie if they're going to compete with Fuller's, and the Matariki is just that. One of my favourite styles with a really interesting twist on it. That is my favourite from the Fuller's and Friends. A great selection box. In supermarkets there's loads of like craft beer boxes and they're all a bit crap. They all have Hobgoblin in. What is that? What are you doing? Hobgoblin? It's not 90s. It's an awesome selection and it will get people talking. I've had a great time reviewing them tonight. I've had a great time doing live Instagram posts and live Facebook posts. Remember to subscribe if you like what you saw. Head over to Facebook/Pint Sized Thinking and check us out on Twitter too, Ollie Hayden. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you again next time. Oh, that is hat hair.